This is the Hollywood Lowlife. Prepare to be amazed and appalled. Now here he is, the Hollywood Lowlife himself, the redoubtable Kurt Voss.
This is the Hollywood Lowlife, and this is the review of The Joker. We are coming to you from beautiful Los Angeles, California. Well, Los Angeles County. Bit in the fringes here, but in the studio and at the helm, as ever, is the lovely Miss Daphne.
Hi.
You all remember Daphne from Frasier. And now she's our engineer. So here we are. I couldn't get Roz, so Daphne had to do. All right, Daphne, on with the review. So I went down to the Directors Guild on Sunset Strip. I am a member, but rarely get down there. And the audience is a bunch of gray hairs and largely the unemployed and available for screening 60 and up crowd. So, but a great theater, certainly. Went down with my pal Poe. We smoked many bowlfuls before we left to get properly dulled down. Now, I was looking forward to the picture. I've seen a bunch of superhero pictures at the Directors Guild with my pal Poe over the years, and he had to remind me that I'd even seen a number of them, like the what's his name? Harry Potter film. Saw several of those and just dimly remember broomsticks careening across the skyline in CGI and that sort of stuff. A few good moments. Girl eaten by a serpent in that one was kind of cool. Anyways, so pretty low bar for me to watch a superhero movie. And the last one that we saw there, Poe again reminded me, was the Batman, where Batman's down in the hole for fucking half an hour or something. These long, bloated superhero films. Part of the problem is the pacing. I guess it goes to ticket pricing because they don't want people. People aren't going to pay $15 for a movie ticket and then feel satisfied with a 92-minute program, which is what a lot of these things merit. So they give them 2 hours and 26 minutes running time and up now. Now starting to creep to 3 hours with It Chapter 2. And I guess you got to give people time to finish that huge, ginormous tub of popcorn and the 40-ounce or 60-ounce soda. So there's that. In any case, I was already liking this movie when I saw it. It was set in a kind of late 70s version of New York, early 80s. My favorite time in that city. It really took a nose dive once they cleaned it up. And also the running time was an advertised 2 hours and 1 minute, which, although I am a proponent of the 90-minute movie, like John Waters, he says you have to think of the smokers in the audience, and at 90 minutes they're ready for a cigarette. So anything you're telling them after the 90-minute mark is at a premium. And even if smokers are in the minority, they still are a contemplative group that will go to your movie, just like coffee drinkers. So, think of the audience. Anyways, 2 hours was a good advertised running time for this show, so I was in. And I thought the film was pretty good. The stuff that was rhetorical, like the speech Joker gives on the talk show, was god awful, risible, and I guess they had to have something there. They always have some shit coming out of someone's mouth in Hollywood movies, but it would have been better without that rant, because it just sort of underscored the lack of super coherent philosophy, you might say. beneath the surface of that film. But it played well enough. I actually like movies that don't have a bunch of tedious plot. And this movie was kind of hard, looking back, to think exactly what happened. It's a fairly slight plot. You just watch this fellow unwind through a series of personal indignities, and what he sees are betrayals by his mother specifically. So kind of a little Norman Bates-ish, but not. It's all very low key in a way until he snaps. The horror is quite graphic and gruesome. A lot of bone snapping and blood spurting, and not something you want your little kids to be caught unaware by. So, but that's been fairly well disseminated, that information. But I thought the production design was really cool. I thought the shots were great. The director had a lot of confidence in the way he staged stuff, and obviously gave his leading man, Joaquin Phoenix, a chance to, the assurance that he was going to be able to work in this frame to the end of this shot. You keep going to the end of the hall, do what you feel, and we're not going to get out of it till you exit. There was a lot of shots like that where you felt that he was letting his actor quite literally dance. And that was some of the coolest stuff in the movie, too. Again, lots to take issue with. There was some press reports that De Niro was obliged Joaquin Phoenix to have table readings of the script before they shot over Phoenix's strong objection to such things. And you can see why. I mean, the De Niro part, talk about making something of nothing, and but there was just nothing behind his character except the tropes from Scorsese movies that were being referenced throughout. There's a lot of Taxi Driver influence in this movie, but without the rigor and the plot. As I say, without the plotting that you found in Schrader's movie, which has a sort of inexorable march towards the bad act, and this movie didn't do that. I wondered several times, where is this going? What is the next? There was nothing really pulling you forward in a narrative sense until I remembered. Oh yeah, De Niro is looms, and the ultimate talk show appearance. So you knew there was an event, a closing event ahead. But that's quite different than a ticking clock or or what's more, what Scorsese gave you with Taxi Driver, which is you feel driven with Travis or put in his spot in a way. You get swept up in the irrationality in a way this movie doesn't quite accomplish. It glamorizes, and the final Joker is pretty badass, I thought. He's a real Mephistophelian type of character. I mean, truly a dancing demon, delighted with both his fame and with naughtiness. So it's kind of bitching, in a Wagnerian way, and in that sense, the first superhero movie I really liked, or superhero project I really liked since Batman Mach 1, circa 1966. I really should have stayed with, kept my nose in this genre since it ended up being the most durable thing, but foolish me. I grew up, actually, ironically, getting more into gritty stuff and Scorsese films, and liking gritty realism in the cinema. But again, that's what I like in this movie, is the Scorsese nods, getting the city at the time. And it's interesting that Scorsese has come out and disavowed the movie in a way by saying this past week that he does not consider superhero movies art or cinema, I guess is what he said, which is those are synonymous in his mind. And so the director of Joker fired back and said he was hurt to hear this. So, but the films are not the same, and having the admiration for Scorsese is not the same as having achieved what he did with his film. So, fair enough. Still, had a good enough time. Cool art direction. Fantastic photography. Some of it was awe-inspiring. And they were just shots of the city. It was just pure compositional eye candy and stuff like that, but really beautiful photography. So as well as that, find a performance that holds it all together. That's the Joker. Oh, two other funny events happened, just to give you something to close on. But ran into two old pals from the industry at the screening. One of whom was Catalin Nell, that produced a picture I did called Poison Ivy, and she, I went to give her a hug, and she had a fucking old lady brooch on her ensemble, and with her scarves and shit, and it got me right in the fucking tit, man. It was like she was like a Chinese assassin, or like one of these assassins that or North Korean assassin who's going to meet you at the airport and then fucking shoots poison in your chest. So I don't know, when you meet someone and that's their opening gambit after all those years, you have to wonder if it's symbolic. But it was nice to see her, such as it was. We got quickly separated again after she stabbed me. I guess that's what assassins do. They disappear. So if you don't hear from me again, you'll be doubly lucky and happy, I should imagine. Any case, I'm out of here.